In this video, I'm going to show you a long-lasting and easy fix for noisy shop vac bearings. As you will see, it is not really a bearing that usually goes bad that causes the loud running noise or loud noise on shutdown. So let's get started.
So that is the sound of a shop vac not doing well. Even got a little smoke coming out there. We're going to see about fixing that. So we're going to take this apart and we're going to show you how we're going to fix a loud shop vac vacuum. So we'll disassemble this now. So our culprit lies right here. This is a bushing, which looks like this, a little brass bushing. And this is what the motor shaft rides through. And this wears out. And I've not been able to find a replacement bushing. I'm not saying they're not out there. I haven't been able to find it. Another person in a YouTube video points this out, showing that this is not a replaceable part. And his comment was that shop vacs are made after good use for a few years to fail, and then you just have to go out and buy another one. And I've come up with a solution for this, an inexpensive solution. Someone has made mention, and we did do that. We put a lubricant in here, and that quieted it down for a while, but then it started making an awful lot of noise again and not working. So that is a temporary solution. I found better than oil. I used wheel bearing grease, and that lasted quite a bit longer. But you see it attracts dust and is a temporary solution. So we are going to replace this bushing with a bearing. This is a 608 bearing, and you get these online. I didn't buy one of the cheapest ones, and I'll list where you can buy this particular bearing, and costs you around $3-4. And so the next step is that we have to get this clip out in order to remove the bushing. And this is what the clip looks like. We've already done this to one shop vac. I'll show you that shortly. So that clip has to get removed in order to get the bushing out. All right, several ways to get the clip out. What I've done is I've used the pliers to take a little bit away of where they have machine pressed over the clip, so that I can get a tool under the clip and pluck that out. Pop that out and take the bushing out, and we're left with this. Now here's what's really interesting. This is made by Shop Vac to have this in there as such, with the retainer clip holding it in. Again, the part that we said can fail. And look at this. It is designed as a perfect fit for the 608 bearing. So this bracket was designed for this bearing, which would last longer than a brass bushing. But they put the bushing in. I'm not an engineer, so maybe they have a reason. But let's see what happens after we reassemble using a bearing instead of the bushing. So we're going to press this bearing onto the motor shaft here, okay? And what we have to do is estimate about how far down we have to go with the bracket in place so that the bearing fits in about the right spot, because it's tight on the shaft, but yet in here, it's a loose fit. And so we just have to start tapping it down and put our bracket back on and see if we're in about the right place. And when we do tap that down, we want to make sure on the other side here that we put something under here so that we don't disturb our fan blade here. So we're going to want to support it right here with something as we tap it down from the top. Bottom side here, to give a little support, you can use a socket, the socket for that nut right there, so that's what we're pounding on. So now we should have something firm to pound on without damaging the fan blade. And on top, I've picked a socket that will slide nicely over the shaft in order to tap the bearing down with. So we're still a little too high, got a little bit of a gap, so we'll take it down a little farther. And we'll just keep checking until our bracket sits flush. And that right there does it. Our bracket is sitting flush on both sides, and our bearing has everything nice and centered. There is a lower bearing down in the bottom, which you'd have to take the fan blade off to pull the motor out through there to get that. I have not yet found that to be what causes the noise or to go bad. Not saying it can't fail, I just haven't run into that yet. It's been the brass bushing on the top. So let's put this back together. So now we got it back together, we'll put the filters back on and then we'll give it a shot and see what it sounds like. Okay, so we have the new bearing in, replacing the brass bushing. So let's see what kind of difference we get when we turn it on here. And the noise is all gone, the bearing's working good, and you notice we had a long spin down compared to before where it shut down pretty fast. So its motor is moving pretty freely.
I hope this video helps you save a shop vac from the trash. When you begin hearing a noise when you shut off your shop vac, that would be a good time to do repairs. I waited longer so that I could show the big difference of the before and after. I don't know if all shop vacs are built this way, but I've repaired several like this. Thank you for watching.